Hey guys, welcome back here to the Hillside Farm on this beautiful Mother's Day weekend. So happy Mother's Day to all you wonderful ladies out there. And without further ado, let me show you what I got going on here in the early spring here at the Hillside Farm. Okay, so here's a look at some of my Spanish Roja garlic. Okay, those of you who don't know, you actually plant garlic in the fall. It overwinters and you harvest it in about June or July, depending on your part of the world that you're living in. But it's doing quite well. Now it's not quite as lush and healthy as I had seen it last year, but this was some kind of older, smaller seed garlic that I had saved. And there's a reason why I didn't have much success with the garlic last year. I'll get into that here as I tour the other part of the garden. But as you can see, it's about a 100-foot row, usually about 2 to 3 all the way down. So that's about, I'd say 250 to 300 garlic plants. So hopefully we don't have the same issue with the bacteria or the fungus, whatever we got last year that pretty much just decimated the entire garlic crop. But so far so good. So let's go ahead and check out what I got going on in the row next to it. All right, so if you guessed correctly, this is, yes, basil. It is also purple basil, so that is awesome. I have a chef who buys from me who specifically requested purple basil, and I asked him how much. He said all of it. I said, no, really, how much? And he says, you can't grow enough of it. Bring all of it to me. So, well, I hope he's ready for, about 100-foot worth of basil. There are 3 green ones there. Eyes are not playing tricks on you. I just ran out of space. So those are actually mammoth, massive leaf basil. They're humongous. It's crazy. But yes, there's about I don't know, close to 100 foot of purple basil right there. Now, remember how I told you last year the garlic crop was pretty much destroyed? If you watch any of those videos, do check out those last year's video. But yeah, see, there's a little bit of garlic right here that's in the middle of the walkway, which is full of clover and grasses. Yes, it is a living walkway path I keep mowed down. You should see the looks I got whenever I try to tell people that I have like these living paths in my garden. They think I'm crazy. They're like, why would you want grass in your garden? Well, I mean, think about it. You don't want to have erosion. You want to keep the soil where it's at. And if you look right here, nature has decided to plant clover for me all over this patch. And clover is, yes, a legume and a nitrogen fixer. When I had my soil tested this past fall at the university, it lacked in nitrogen. Well, it lacked in, well, everything, because this, as you've been following along, this is an old hayfield that has just been basically had the hay taken off and everything ever returned. So a lot of hay operations in fields like that don't rotate cattle or anything through it, it's just maybe just a subtraction. That's all you're doing, is you're subtracting nutrients from your ground as you pull off the hay and don't replace it, okay, unless you're going to start spraying a lot of chemicals. But anyhow, I digress. See this garlic right here? Well, last year we had this super heavy wet early May. It got down to like 36 degrees, and just lingering cold is just nasty. And unfortunately my garlic that was beautiful, it was massive, all got this horrible black fungus rot in it. It was nasty. When you pulled it out of the ground, they just smelled awful. But some of this garlic that I pulled up that I guess I missed survived. Okay, so I'm thinking that hopefully, just maybe, this garlic that did survive is resistant to that mold or whatever it was, a fungus. And hopefully these prove to be something that I can kind of propagate and try again next year and get a little bit more of maybe a resistant type of garlic that's for this specific environment. Okay, so that being said, unlike most plants where you're saving seeds and the seeds become, you're selecting for the best things, best genetics, things like that, you're getting the future generations. Garlic, whenever you just save the cloves and replant them, you're literally just reproducing the same exact genetic thing, right? So you're not actually producing something new, not something that's adaptive. So if you think you're going to get something that's, over time that your garlic's going to adapt, that's untrue. What you're doing there is you're basically just selecting the same plant to plant over and over and over again that is resistant. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, I can try to explain it more in a different video, different set, but need to kind of get this underway here. This is my massive elephant garlic. This stuff is amazing. It's doing quite well. It's actually a leek, more in the leek family, but it does taste and like more like a garlic, and it's treated more where you grow it like garlic, like you would anyhow, right? But anyhow, got a little bit of a dead space here. Got some flowers I'm going to plant. Just, I think what happened is I ran out of space, or I'm not sure what happened. Something was planted there that didn't make it. But these right here, now these are also the elephant garlic, but as you can tell, they're much, much smaller. So I'll show this video, I'll show you this when it comes down to the fall time. But elephant garlics actually make little offsets, okay? Almost like a hyacinth bulb or something like that, if you've ever seen those. These little offshoots. So I harvested those, and these are just the babies, okay? So you would basically let these grow, and they're going to produce one solid clump. They're not going to like divide into cloves until the following year. So the ones I grew this, right back over here, these guys grew last year, and when I harvested them, were just one solid ball. Okay, for lack of better words, they were just, there's no division, it was no clumping. So I'm hoping this year that these guys down here will divide. I'll get some cloves of elephant garlic so I can multiply, maybe sell some, and then I'll be able to have enough to multiply and expand the garlic, the elephant garlic that is, the amount that I have to work with. And going over here, there's nothing planted quite yet. I just did weed eat, so there's a lot of grass in the area, but there's nothing down there to look at as of yet. I've tried to experiment this black plastic. Nothing's planted here yet. More to come. I'm thinking I'm gonna do peppers down here, but I'm still kind of leery about the deer, so I may do an experimental row of peppers here, and hopefully the deer don't mess with them too bad. Now this right here, this very untidy little area, and the reason for that is because I was weed eating and then I ran out of string, and I'm not walking all the way back to the barn to get some string when I need to do this video. So anyhow, you can tell these are some potatoes that are popping up. I just kind of healed them up a little bit with the some grass clippings from this old hay bale over here, and they're doing just fine. Last week or so, they're barely even poking out of the ground, but we had so much rain. It rained about 1.5 inches over the past couple of days. It's been sunny now, and these things are really starting to pop up. I do have a couple of skips down there, but I think that was my fault. I think I might have actually broke them off when I was weeding or something earlier, because everything else in this row is doing fantastic. So let me take you outside of the garden here to more of the brand new stuff I got going on here this year for 2022. Okay, so everybody knows if you want to be a gardener or a farmer, you need to be resourceful. Okay, so what I'm talking about right here, these are Japanese wine berries, which are absolutely delicious. And how did I come about these plants? Well, back where the Hillside Garden is, back in the city, there's a small little public golf course, and in their infinite wisdom, they were going to start putting a bicycle and a walking trail right through the golf course and still try to allow people to play golf at the same time, which just sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. But anyhow, there was this whole hillside that just was overrun and just rampant with these wild, well, even though they're not native, but they're growing wild now, Japanese wine berries. And you're playing golf, you're walking down the fairways, whatever, you go over, you snag yourself a handful of the berries while you're playing. It's like a summertime tradition for me and my kids, right? But anyways, the path that they were going to dig was right through where the wine berries were at. So I kind of went out way early in the spring and just dug some baby sprouts out, just where they, the tip layering, and dug them out, and I brought them up here, and they've all done quite well. They're growing, started leafing out. This one right here, this one here does actually have some growth on it, if you can see that right there. And you can see these little red spiky hairs on it. Okay, they're pretty gnarly, but this is one of the reasons why deer really don't mess with these so much. So right now I've only had one plant that they actually pulled out of the ground for some reason, but that was before it actually had started growing. I put it back in, and it's doing fine. It's one of them down there you can see in the foreground here. But yeah, so I've had no trouble with the deer thus far, and I cannot wait to get some fresh berries from these guys right here. And let's continue the tour. I got more stuff to show you guys. This is an exciting 2022 is going to be a great year with a lot of new additions here at the farm. All right, so I'll make this quick because there's really nothing to show here. I just put in this row here. These are raspberries. There's 3 different varieties of red raspberries and 2 different varieties of golden raspberries down at the end. And they're just now starting to wake up. I said, I just planted these a week ago, and they're bare root stock. But some of them have started to leaf out, and a lot of them look like they're just dormant little sticks. So I'm hoping that they're actually going to pull through and that I don't have to rebuy these, because they do carry a nice little price tag with them. So nothing really else to show there. But yeah, this year I'm really focused on establishing a lot of bushes, fruits, and I got a lot of trees. They're babies I'm trying nurturing back before I kind of let them out here to fend for themselves out here in the farm because of the deer pressure, etc. So I'm kind of holding off, letting them get a little bit bigger. I'll spin you around over here. Not a lot to really update over here. Hopefully you can see through the deer netting here, but right there, it's not really showing too well, but those are the blueberries. I got about 25 blueberry bushes in there, and the flowers, if you're going to ask, that is just crimson clover. I'll be tilling that down, or mowing it down, I guess, using it as a top dressing mulch. It's also a fantastic legume. It's going to produce some nitrogen, but also use the biomass. It's going to help to build up this really, really depleted soil. And just for case in point, you can kind of see that just that red clay soil with very little organic matter in it whatsoever. But you know what, over time, that's why I like the organic method. More the permaculture method is that you build it over time. It's always going to be there, and then the system will be able to maintain itself without having to just completely add more and more chemicals at all times. But there you go. One last thing to show you guys. I know this video is kind of long-winded, but I just got so much things to show you. So hold tight. Let's check out the last thing. All right, so here we are at the last update. New plantings thus far in 2022. These are elderberries. Okay, so there are 5 elderberries planted over here. Now, this spot that I've chosen is right behind this fence. There's a creek, so this area stays very moist. It's somewhat shaded over here. It does get some sun, but this is basically the edge of like a woodland type setting. The elderberries need to stay constantly moist, so this area here does stay very moist. I've been trying to get all this brush cleared out, and we did have a campfire. Burned a lot of this brush that was here. Used the ashes back into the garden. But yeah, so the deer early in the spring kind of nibbled off some of the early growth, and I was kind of worried, but I think that was just because it was the only green thing around that early in the spring. But they have moved on and found other things to entertain themselves with, hopefully, knock on wood. But yeah, these elderberries are doing fantastic, leafing out just great. So there you go. That's what I got for you guys so far here early 2022 here at the Hillside Farm. This is Mother's Day weekend here in United States, or if that's where you're from. But if not, then it's just a good point of reference for you to know the time and place that we're filming this video. So there you go. And once again, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this tour. Hopefully it inspires you to get out and do something at your place. And as always, if you have any comments or questions whatsoever, please drop them down below. I'd be happy to take care of them and answer for you whenever I get some free time. All right, guys, until next time here at the farm, y'all enjoy yourself, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.